there weren't any deaf people in the world, that would be fine. But we have deaf people all over the world. My name is Abieyuwa. My short name is Abby. I'm studying here accounting and finance, and I'm a first-year student. I was actually born in Africa, in Nigeria, in a part of Nigeria. So I was a premature birth, and that's what caused me to be deaf, maybe. At the time I was born, obviously the family weren't aware of my deafness, and I grew up in an oral environment. So I went to a mainstream school, and it was a little bit difficult, but I didn't actually understand the difficulties at the time and how the teaching methods worked. Then the family moved to Ireland when I was about 12, and we stayed there for a few years. And my mum tried to help me with education and tried to sort the best kind of education for me, but it was very difficult. So I actually found my way into deaf school. And then I realised actually my deaf identity.
I do believe knowing the basics in sign language can really help break down those barriers. My name is Wayne Barrow. I'm a sign language performer and I'm the founder of the Wayne Barrow Academy, and I'm also trying to get British Sign Language into the national curriculum. I started learning sign language through my parents, as they're both profoundly deaf. So I actually learnt sign language before I learnt to speak English, so technically sign language is my mother tongue. My upbringing was slightly different to my friends and my colleagues for various reasons. One, through the technology we had at home. So we had flashing lights instead of a doorbell, we had vibrating alarm clocks, and secondly, through how we used to communicate at home. So obviously I never used my voice at home, it was all through using our hands. So I have seen my parents struggle in some of the basic things in day-to-day life. It may just be going to the supermarket and asking for the price of something and they've struggled to understand, or where something is, and those are just the basic problems that they've experienced. Obviously there are bigger challenges as well, such as making phone calls for them and things like that, but it ranges from very minor problems to very challenging problems.
For me, I don't think I really have a great deal of difficulty because I'm used to both worlds. But if I don't have any assistance with my hearing aids and so on, no sound at all, then I think I would have a little bit of a difficult time. I would have a stressful time. I
started doing YouTube videos because I always used to sign a song, Beyonce Love on Top. No reason whatsoever, I just randomly started signing it, and a friend of mine said to me, "Oh Wayne, can I film you doing it?" We put it on Facebook and it just got like over 100,000 views and it just went mental, so I thought it's a great platform to use. The videos I've done have led to me launching the Wayne Barrow Academy through a lot of people commenting on the videos, asking to learn the signs. So I thought it could be a great opportunity for me to set up somewhere local where people could come down and learn signs through song. I've decided to teach sign language through music because I think music's really relatable. Everyone can, relate to music, and it's a fun way of learning, I think. Things stick with you a lot quicker when you listen to it through music. Hi, I'm Wayne here. We're here at the Wayne Barrow Academy and you're about to join me on one of our sessions. Enjoy.
So I personally come to these classes to learn more signs. So this is the first time that my girls have come with us to learn as well, because they wanted to learn some signs as well. I teach tiny talk baby signing classes, so obviously know some signs from that, but having watched Wayne's videos, sort of been really inspired to learn more.
I think certainly if schools feel it's important, they should teach sign language. I'm not so sure there would be a need for it to be part of the national curriculum.
I think British Sign Language should be in the national curriculum to break down the barriers between deaf and hearing people. Now, for a deaf person, it can be quite isolating. We do already learn like the likes of French and Spanish and German in schools, which is great, but I always think that a French or a Spanish or a German person can learn English, or an English person can learn French, Spanish or German. However, a deaf person can't learn to hear. Their only form of communication is British Sign Language.
I suspect what's preventing any movement on that issue about sign language becoming part of the national curriculum is maybe partly to do with the autonomy schools have at the moment to set their own curriculum. So you can imagine an academy school where it might be a school that would attract lots of deaf students, for example. A specialist school might have a need for that, perhaps other schools wouldn't need that. But I suspect really it's, as always with these things, to do with resources. How would a school be resourced to get specialist people in to deliver that kind of curriculum?
I'm sure one day in the future we will actually be successful, and I really hope so. I hope the government will be made aware, will understand what to do and realise the situation that would aid people for the future, especially in education, so that we can have equal access, so that we can have understandings, our skills will be on a par with others, and also for our independence as well.
I suppose one of the things we have is that you know, we've got a generation of activists who are able to be more influential by using online tools, by using social media to actually make change happen. And certainly if you take, for example, online petitions, you know, those can be quite impactful now because they get to a certain level and they can trigger debates within Parliament. So certainly perhaps we're seeing an activist community within the deaf community who have got a better chance to impact politics and make change happen.
I started a petition back in January of this year. Unfortunately, that petition ended in May because of the general election. Now, when the general election happened, the government dissolved, which meant the petitions committee dissolved alongside it. Currently, the petition is on around 30,000 signatures, but we do need 100,000 signatures for it to be debated in Parliament.
I think I'd be very happy if all hearing people were made aware of the issues relating to hearing impairment. And in my own mind, it doesn't mean that if you're deaf you can't speak, you don't have speech. A historical title was deaf and dumb, but obviously we communicate through our hands, through sign language, so that means we have a method of communication. So the hearing loss is just a hearing loss, it's not a loss of any other awareness or faculties. So it would be good if other people could help, not just for the deaf people, but I'm thinking also for the future and for others as well.
We're in an era where schools have less and less resources really. It's, you know, we're in very stringent austere time, so I can't quite see that being happening any day soon.
I'd like to see circumstances changing within British Sign Language in the future. I'm already seeing some changes where more people are becoming aware about it. There's a lot more in the media about British Sign Language, but I think there's more we can do, and I'm hoping with the way things are going now, I'm hoping it will become a more sort of national sort of awareness, so to speak.